Hey guys, how's it going? So today we are going to do another play or Neigh, and today the play or Neigh will be done on a game called Skyhill. Now this is a roguelike kind of almost a horror game, you could say. Of course, roguelike games have a feature where death is permanent in some or another way. So death is in fact permanent in this game, and you just basically go through the game and you see how far you can get in the hotel. So the game is available on Steam for $15, and it is created by Daedalic Games, or just Daedalic. So we will jump straight into the game. I have spent quite a few rounds already playing the game. Let me first show you the settings. The settings are extremely basic. You can just select your resolution and the music. That's basically all. Or at least the music and the sound volume at least. So we will go at it for, well, let's say normal, I guess. And I've already unlocked all of the perks in the game. Like I said, I've already completed the game. I obviously always try to play as much of the game before I actually render my decision on the game. So through the next hour or so I will play the game and I will tell you guys, in my opinion, if the game is good or not. So there are a bunch of different perks. You start the game with no perks. None of these perks are available at the beginning. And more of the perks are unlocked as you progress through the game. And I will explain to you guys the progression as we go. But for this one I will take this. It is a quite useful perk. And at the bottom, usually I would take this one. There are a few perks here which are quite cool. I haven't figured out what amnesia does. I really don't see what it does in the game, so I don't know. I'm not going to take amnesia. This one is also quite cool. It allows you to sometimes open doors. Inspiration is also relatively cool. What's this one? Oh, this one allows you to respend all of your skill points. That's not useful. And this one allows you to be immune to poison, and it allows you to eat overripe food. So that's pretty cool, without any negative effects. So we will go through with these two perks. You can only select one perk from the top and one perk from the bottom.
For a couple of days on business. It was a short trip, so why not spend a few days in style?
Your keys, just as you ordered, are best suited with an excellent view and the latest biological defense system.
Things have to get better before they get worse, I guess. I just had no idea how bad.
Houston, New Europe. Please remain calm and stay inside. Turn on your home biological defense system, and if you have known, directly proceed to the nearest biohazard shelter, women and children.
Dear guests, please do not leave your rooms.
Rushed to the phone. I tried everything. Police, 911, even hotel service. Something terrible was going on outside. When the screaming ceased, all I heard was satisfied, hungry growling and the sound of flesh being torn apart. And then I was hungry and eventually went outside. It was hell. But I'd rather be killed by a mutant than slowly starve to death. I still have hope. I'll make it out of here.
Okay, so as you can see, the story is that you are a businessman just driving into town and you decided to stay at this hotel. So you are on floor 100. You of course booked the VIP suite, which is at the very top, and you then basically now have to get from floor 100, which is the floor that we are on right now, all the way to the bottom floor in order to escape from the hotel. And I don't even need to tell you, but there are a few very nasty things on your way down. So this is the main suite. You can create items here and you can sleep here, and then there's an elevator which allows you to travel faster from the top floor to the bottom floors. That's basically all that you can do on this top floor. You have an inventory interface and you can create weapons, food, medkits, other, and VIP room you can upgrade. You can upgrade your bed or the kitchen, allowing you to have more recipes for food, and you can upgrade your workbench, which allows you to craft more weapons, and you can upgrade your door. Basically, when you sleep, there is a chance that you will be attacked while you sleep. So upgrading your door allows you to reduce the chance of that happening. But I've found that even when you have a level 2 door, you still many times get attacked while sleeping, and it's quite nasty since you sometimes get poisoned, sometimes you lose a shitload of health or a shitload of hunger. So it's not really fun when you sleep and you get attacked. Basically, the two most important things in the game is your hunger and your health. Every time that you move, you lose 1 hunger. And if you reach 0 hunger, and then each time you move, you lose 2 HP. So we do not want to run out of hunger, but in my experience, you much quicker run out of health than what you actually run out of hunger. So there I just moved and it reduces my hunger by 1. And then it reduced my hunger by another 1. And then basically you move to the different rooms and you loot everything that is in the rooms. I just picked up a kitchen knife, so I am going to use that since my bare fists do 1 to 2 damage, but with a knife I can do 3 to 6 damage. And I will explain the combat system once we actually encounter a zombie. So this is basically all that you do. You move to the different rooms, you loot all of the rooms. Once you've looted the left and the right room, you then move to the bottom floor. Now you can, if you are brave enough, just go all the way down. You don't need to necessarily explore the rooms at the sides, but if you don't explore the rooms at the sides, you will get 0 loot, and you will eventually not be able to go on because you will either starve yourself to death because you didn't find any food in the other rooms, or you will just die because there are sometimes monsters in the hallway also with the stairs, so it's not necessarily the safest place to be either. So we have now encountered a zombie. Once we click on this thing here and it goes red, we can then target certain places to attack, and that's how I play the entire game. You don't need to target certain places. If you have it with the white thing like this and you click on an enemy, it will just strike a random place, but when you have this you can do targeted strikes. So I always go for the head. I have calculated that it is much better in the long run statistically if you attack the head constantly, because you do double the damage than what you do when you hit the chest, but the chest is 80% and the head is 50%, so if you work that out, you gain about 20% damage overall by hitting the head instead of the chest. So I always go for the head, unless the monster is close to dying. If the monster is close to dying, then I will go for the head, or I will go for the chest or the arms. So he now has 0.4 HP remaining, so I will now go for the most likely strike, which is this 90% strike. And there we go. We killed him, and then we can loot him, and we can loot all of the other stuff in the room. You cannot loot any of the stuff in the room until the monster in the room is dead. And now we will move on. Okay, so here we fight another guy. We will activate our luck. And now we will try to poon this guy 1000 damage. So that happens not very often. The Lucky Bastard trait can give you a variety of different effects, like a huge critical or anything like that. It can also sometimes be bad. Sometimes you stab yourself instead of stabbing the enemy. So this room here is locked right now, so we can't go in there, so we will just have to go on to the next room. So that is basically the game. The game is pretty basic. You just move from room to room, you kill any zombies that are in the room, and you loot the stuff that is in the room. That's basically it. Sometimes you can really get screwed over by the 50%, but that 50% increases as we go on. So right now you have a level. Here is your XP bar. You can see I already gained a level, and now my level experience is 10 out of 75. So as it goes up, we will once again level up. And then you get 4 skill points that you can choose to spend in any of the different skills. If you increase your strength trait, you will deal more damage with strength based weapons, and the same with speed, and the same with dexterity. Now accuracy actually affects your chance to hit with all of the weapons, so it doesn't matter if you have a dexterity or speed or strength based weapon, it still increases your chance to get hit, or to hit your opponent at least. But the strength increases your damage with a strength weapon, and the speed increases your damage with a speed weapon. And it also allows you to use higher weapons. So if we look here, a stiletto requires 7 speed, hatchet requires 7 dexterity, a mop requires 5 dexterity, so you get the idea. Traditionally I go for a speed weapon. Speed weapons I have found are quite good, so I am going to spend 2 on speed, 1 on strength, and 1 on accuracy. So my accuracy has now increased from 10% to 12%. So then we move on. And we loot all of the stuff. It's not 100% guaranteed to get stuff when you are looting. Oftentimes I have found that entire room will just be empty, like there. I looted that, but there was nothing there, so the entire room is empty. So that is just part of the how can I say, the dynamic levels. The levels are dynamically generated, which means that each and every level, each and every time that you play, will be different. No 2 playthroughs are the same than each other. So each and every time that you play, you will have a different experience. There will be different monsters in different areas of the map. So it is very much procedurally generated. So this bastard has now evaded quite a few times. I found that sometimes you just get very unlucky, and you will sometimes miss 4 or 5 or 6 times in a row with the 50% chance hits, which really shouldn't happen, since if you miss 6 times with 50%, that is very bad luck, since you should have hit 3 times. Statistically, that equals 300%. So you should have hit 3 times when hitting 6 times with 50%. But yeah, that just sometimes happen. You just have to roll with the punches. Sometimes the luck can be very much against you, and other times you can get pretty lucky. So there I missed, and I missed again, so it's 150% chance to miss, and there it equaled out because I hit 2 times and I missed 2 times. And here is an old grandpa. Sometimes you get these old grandpas in the rooms. They usually offer a exchange, so let's see what this grandpa wants to exchange. He wants an electric sword, and he will give me a mushroom. Now that is extremely in his favor. Even if I had an electric sword, I would not do that trade, so we are just going to ignore the grandpa and not take his trade. There, both of those were empty, unfortunately, and we move on to the next level. Let's stab this guy a few times in the head. So our health is down to 30, and the monster just critical hit me, and our food is down to 20. So that sucks a little bit. We will have to heal and eat a little bit. Let's eat the canned food. That's good. You just right click on it and you basically use that item, and we will use the small med kit. Now I don't necessarily want to use the bandage in order to heal myself, because you can use the bandage, which is this thing here, and you can combine it with alcohol in order to create a medkit. So if you just picked up some alcohol, you will be able to turn something that is 10 HP into something that restores 30 HP. So by simply being a little bit patient, you will be able to benefit way more once you simply pick up some alcohol. So I have learned that it's much better to play on the brink of death, because by doing that you will then perhaps pick up alcohol and you will benefit much more from it then. So here's a cell phone. You very often pick up cell phones in the game, and it is usually quests. It's almost like a quest. It will tell you go to floor 88 or go to floor whatever, and once you reach that floor you will get some experience. So in the game there is this guy's daughter, the character that you are playing as. It is your daughter. Now I have completed the game already and I have never found the daughter, so I can only assume that the daughter is a figment of your imagination. So she is apparently waiting on floor 88. That is only 4 floors down. Now I can already tell you that once we reach floor 88, your daughter will not be there. Oh, so we just picked up a stiletto. The stiletto is much better than the kitchen knife. So our damage currently is 4 to 7. And with the stiletto it is 5 to 9, so that increased by 1 minimum damage and 2 maximum damage. That's good. And then we move on to the next level. So you get the general idea of the game. It's quite basic. You basically go through the rooms, you loot what you can, you destroy the zombies, and you move further down. That's basically the entire idea of the game. So I will stay quiet for a little while so that you guys can hear the game sounds and the music and all of that. Okay, so my daughter apparently said that she will be on this level, so we will get a little experience boost once we are on this level. Okay, now apparently she hid on floor 83. Now, I have seen this many times. The one time I was quite angry because she said that she hid on floor, I think it was like floor 20. And then when I reached floor 20, she said that she had now hid on floor 40, which means I had to backtrack 20 floors all the way up, and which of course cost me 20 hunger in the end. And when I reached floor 40, as she said she had moved there, then she wasn't there either, and I just got a little experience boost. So sometimes it can be really fucking irritating because you move to the location which she said she will be at, and then she wasn't there, so that sucks quite a bit. The extra turn, which I have gotten twice now, that happens based on your speed. You have a chance to get the extra turn based on your speed. Each one speed increases your extra turn chance by 0.5. So the strength increases your critical chance, and the dexterity allows you to dodge. So in addition to increasing the weapon damage, it also gives you slight different bonuses. And we just picked up a little piece of newspaper, and the pieces of newspaper don't really say much. In fact, the tapes, which are here at the top, they provide more of the backing story. So I have collected all of the tapes as far as I know already, because I have completed the game already. So I will play the tapes for you. They don't really contain spoilers, they just contain the thoughts of this guy. So I will just put a little notification on the screen while the tapes are playing. If you don't want to listen to the tapes, just mute or whatever, but I really suggest that you listen to the tapes, since they don't really it's not like they contain spoilers, they just basically give this guy's opinion of what is happening. So I will go ahead and play all of the tapes for you.
When it all started, well, you know, losing the one you love is tough. Maybe I was lucky not to see what they would become. They died instantly. The blast brought down the billboard. In shock, we saw how it was shaking onto all moves before collapsing. Like slow-mo, as if time turned into a viscid jelly. It came down just one step away from me, and I was the only one who survived. Something disturbs me. I don't remember clearly what happened before the disaster, but I remember their faces. Especially my little Nicky's. She had her maths exam next month. Back then, she was so worried, so concerned. Enough. I'm driving myself crazy. For now, I just bear my miserable cross, looting ruins and hiding from the mutants, and looking for a reason to keep going. The help never came. I wander through the streets day after day, occasionally glancing at the sky above. in hope to see an army helicopter or fighter jet, or at least a balloon, and there's nothing. Those who survive gathered in squares, painted enormous SOS signs on the ground, lit fires, only to become mutant chow. Noise attracts them. I'd rather stay alone. I can't help seeing the faces of my family. I see them in my dreams, and they look at me from the mutant's dead eyes. I question myself sometimes. What if all this is just a dream? Delusions of a madman. And in reality, I rest in a warm bed in the arms of my beloved one, in a nightmare's cold sweat. They say dying ends a dream. Why do I keep doing this? At first I just wanted to find a couple of cans to last one more evening in the ruins. But then, 2 monstrosities gained a tight foothold at the entrance, so I had to stay for a night. I was curious, so I decided to climb up 2 floors, and ended up climbing a dozen floors somehow. Strangely, the former rumors caused nearly no trouble, although I could hear them growling malevolently behind the doors. Something draws me up, beckons me up. I think I'm going crazy. It is destiny. I saw Neigh in a dream last night. She called for me. She screamed that I must come and help her. Told me to go upstairs. Or downstairs. It felt like time stopped inside the skyscraper, and I couldn't tell whether to go up or down. My eyes failed to read the shifting floor numbers, and I wandered like one of the infected through the stairways and abandoned rooms. Fought local fauna for expired canned food. Recently, I've been seeing myself in a dusty mirror in a room. A tattered monster covered in blood, with a mad gleam in my eyes. No better than any mutant. She's calling for me, louder and louder. My Neigh, dear, I will break through to you. Wait for me. I have the same dream every time. I have the same dream every time I fall asleep since I found myself in this damned hotel. I live in a penthouse on the very top floor. It feels so real. Everything around me is chaos. I survive, I kill, and I dash down to freedom. It's like another life, in which I still have purpose, in which I don't hear Neigh whispering, calling for me to come back to the top. I'm coming for you, darling. Just wait. It won't take long. The last burst. A hurry-scurry dream. I don't understand anymore what is real and what's not. Which me is real? The one who goes downstairs, or the one who walks upstairs? The fever's really knocking me out. Neigh. She's calling me again. Wait, honey. I'm coming.
Okay, so that is all of the tapes. I'm assuming that's all of the tapes, since I have gone from floor 100 all the way down to floor 0 and collected all of the tapes. So I don't know, maybe there are more tapes, but as far as I know, that is all of the tapes. So they don't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. There's no rhyme or reason to them overall. I mean, he's talking about dreaming, and then he's talking about running around on the floors. So I don't know. It's very strange because he's talking about reality and a future which he couldn't really have lived through, because I mean, he's currently going through the floors, and he wasn't previously going through the floors because, I mean, as we saw at the very beginning, that little cutscene, the nuke dropped just now, you know, just now in the story the nuke dropped. So it's not like there was previously a nuke. So I don't know, it's a little bit strange, but I guess it all kind of makes sense in the large scheme of things. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is the story doesn't really make all of that much sense, but I mean, it doesn't really need to make sense. You basically just need to know that apocalypse kind of an event has happened, and you now are just going through the hotel and you are trying to reach the very bottom. That's basically the entire story. Okay, so this bastard is a little bit too strong for me. I'm just going to go back. Let's go back to the very top so that I can show you guys the different like upgrading, making food and all of that. So by the way, you can increase the game speed here at the top, which is also a very nice feature, which I definitely appreciate the developers for putting that in. So now that we are at our house again, if we had the correct ingredients, then we would be able to create food, but unfortunately we do not have the correct ingredients. If we perhaps increase our kitchen, then we will have the correct ingredients. So we have 1 brick and 1 stick. So then we upgrade our kitchen. Boom, now we have a level 2 kitchen. Now we can create much better food. So these things like the egg and the water, which together give 16 hunger. So if I ate each of these ones individually, I would get 16 hunger. But now when you combine it, you get 22 hunger worth. So that is a additional 6 hunger that you get simply by combining these 2 items. So that is why I said at the beginning, it's much better to just live on the threadbare minimum, and then after that you can combine things in order to get bigger value out of them in the long run. So yeah, it's really better to play the game on the edge of dying and on the edge of hunger, because when you return here, then you can create much better items. So let's see, I am going to create myself a better weapon if I can. Let's just see. Well, the stiletto isn't a bad weapon, to be honest. Let's just see if we can increase our workbench. No, we do not have wood. So, unfortunately, we cannot increase our bench. But if we can create some cables, that will be very good. Since cables are used to create electrical connection on certain levels. So I will show you guys what I'm talking about just now. We are going to do that. And a blade, no, I don't really need a blade. And nails, sure, I don't have any nails. So basically you create a bunch of different parts here, and these parts can be used to repair the elevators. And by repairing the elevators, it allows you to move between the different levels using the elevator instead of using the stairs, because the stairs of course costs 1 food each time you move. But when you use the other stuff like the elevator, then it doesn't cost 1 food each time you move. So let's eat a little bit, and then we can sleep, and when you sleep you regain HP. So let's spend that amount of, oh well, let's just see what, okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's spend this amount of food. And let's sleep. Hopefully we don't get attacked. Okay. And at the top it gives you a rundown of what happened while you were sleeping. Sometimes you get attacked and sometimes you don't get attacked. Obviously it's brilliant if you don't get attacked, but yeah, you kind of just have to roll with the punches. Sometimes you get attacked and you get poisoned, and it's really not all that good, but yeah. So let's move to there. And then when we move to the very bottom, you guys will see what I mean by repairing an elevator. So we click on this thing and it is broken currently. We can't use the elevator. So once we repair it, now we can use this elevator in order to return to the very top floor. So that's pretty awesome. And we can also use it to go down to the bottom floors. So yeah, the end of objective is to reach the very bottom floor. But you are going to struggle quite a lot to reach the very bottom floors without using the elevators, because if you have to run down or if you have to run up from floor 20 all the way to floor 100, then it's going to cost you 80 hunger. So 80 hunger is quite a lot. So it is much better to try and repair the elevator on each floor, so that you can use the elevator eventually to return to the floors where you want to be. So let's attack this guy. He's quite powerful. He usually hits for 10 damage with his big arm. You will see just now he's gonna hit with his big arm also. There we go, 14 damage with his big arm. So this guy will kill you in 7 hits. So if you can't kill him within 7 hits, you are going to die. Okay, I got the extra turn, that's good, but I missed my turn, so that doesn't help us at all. Fucking hell, this guy might kill us. Okay, there we go. Fortunately we killed him, but we lost just about 80 HP in the process, so that sucks a little bit. We will have to regain health with a little bit of bandages and all of that eventually. But like I said, if you hold out until the point where you can get alcohol, then you can combine it to create a small medkit, and that is much better. So I think by now you guys get the general idea of the game. I think in fact the game is so basic that once I die, once I end this playthrough, I will then render my verdict on the game. Since normally I play about an hour, but with a game as basic as this, it's not really required to play longer than just one playthrough basically. Since you guys have already seen just about everything that there is to see in the single playthrough. Wow, I just hit him for 95% and I actually missed it. That really sucks. And I get a bunch of stuff, small medkit. Like I said, the health is much more important than hunger. You hardly ever run out of hunger. But health, it is extremely difficult to keep your health very high. Unless you are extremely lucky with the health pickups. So these guys, these zombies, are bastards because they often hit you and then they run away, as he did just now. So it's not really cool when they hit you and run away, because they damage you and they heal a little bit, so the next time that you see them they would have healed a little bit of the damage that you have dealt to them. So it's not really cool. And we got another bell pepper. So yeah, you guys see it takes just about 20 minutes to reach floor 75. But that is, of course, if you're not running at the top speed. You can play the game much quicker, by running at the top speed, as I am now, you can essentially go through the game 3 times faster by using the top speed setting, which is quite cool. I like the fact that the developers included a way to get past all of the boring stuff, because the game is quite boring at the first speed. So by switching to the very top speed, it really quite increases the amount of content that you can get through in a set amount of time. So here is the guy that we saw previously. He's at 10 HP now, so we will just hit him and he dies. So yeah, I am pretty much sure that in this playthrough I won't be able to reach even floor 50 maybe, since I haven't really been lucky with the stuff that I have encountered. But we will see. Sometimes you get lucky and you pick up a medkit. There's the one medkit that heals you for 80 HP, so you can essentially heal your entire health pool with a single item, which is really useful, but I haven't been able to pick up that large medkit yet. So the game is very much based on RNG and randomness. Sometimes you can do the playthrough from level 100 to level 0 very easily, and other times you won't even reach level 50. It's all depending on your luck, and the luck which the game actually gives you. Arguably, the game could sometimes be very, how can I say, unfair towards you, but I haven't really encountered any specific bad luck like that. Sometimes you have bad luck and you miss 4 or 5 or 6 times in a row with a 50% hit, which statistically is very unlikely to happen. But yeah, I guess that's life, and that is just the luck that you have to live with. Okay, so I don't want to fight that guy. He's actually probably going to kill me with the current amount of health that I have, so I am absolutely fine with skipping him and not doing that room. Or alternatively, we could use our lucky bastard trait to take him out. I guess we could do that. And then we just hit him there, and he dies for 1000 damage. So that's essentially what the lucky bastard trait does. It sometimes allows you to almost instantly kill a monster, but it's not always the case. There are other things that can happen when you activate the lucky bastard trait. Okay, now these things, this thing, I don't know what his name is, but These things are very shitty, since they poison you. If you don't kill them within 2 or 3 turns, then they poison you. So I am going to leave this guy and just move on to the next room, because honestly I do not want to get poisoned. You cannot cure poison unless you have one of these vials, an antidote. And you create the antidote by combining antibiotics and mutant blood. But besides them poisoning you, that is also actually a very powerful monster. It has 50 HP. So I would much rather not attack that thing and just go on to the other levels. Okay, so I just got a note from the computer. Login, blah 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 blah. So I basically know what this is. On the very bottom floor, floor 0, there is a computer. Actually, it's a security console, like a security console that you get at a desk which controls all of the cameras in the hotel. It's one of those computers. So that computer actually asks for a password. So that username and password there, you can use that to log into the security console for whatever reason, if you want to look at the cameras. Okay, so here we get another quest. We have to go to floor 57. And once we reach it, we might get a little bit of XP. Okay, I didn't want to move to this room, but okay, let's just go with it. And we have to heal again a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't really have a good way to heal. I don't have any alcohol. I would have wanted to have some alcohol. So I will just move on to the next level and hope that I don't get killed before getting a little bit of alcohol. Okay, there we got alcohol, that's good. And we can use it to get ourselves a little bit of HP again. Okay, so because this guy is standing on the middle hallway, you have to kill him. You have no option. You simply have to kill him. So I'm just going to attack him and hope that he doesn't poison me. And he poisoned me. So I took fucking, I think 15 damage, and he poisoned me. So luckily I do have an antidote, but still I went from like 70 HP all the way down to 20 HP, and I have only these two things to heal me, but that's only 10 HP, so if I die, then I die. Okay, and if I fight this guy, I'm probably going to be dead. But, I mean, there's not really much I can do about it. I could use this to heal, although it is extremely inefficient. But let's go ahead and do it. Oh, and he missed me. Wow, that was lucky. Because that attack deals a shitload of damage and it poisons you, and I don't have another antidote, so if he did that, then I would have just died within a few turns. Basically, when you are poisoned, you receive 1 health damage each and every turn that you move. So it is similar to your hunger being degraded. You basically lose 1 HP each and every turn. This guy might kill me. Okay, so luckily he ran away. Okay, so we reached the floor which they said they will be at, and now they say that they are on floor 40. So just like how I said previously, sometimes you reach the objective which they claimed to be at, and then they simply aren't there. So it's a little bit shitty, but I mean, not much you can do about it. Let's see, baseball bat, will that be better? 6 to 10 damage, and this gives me 2 to 4, no, that's not good. Let's go back to the stiletto. Okay, these things are way too powerful. There's no way how I am going to be able to kill them, because they hit sometimes 3, 4, 5 times even. Like there you saw just now, she hit me 4 times in a single turn. So there's really no way how I can kill this guy. I'm just basically going to die. And there I am dead. So I died on floor 56. So yeah, that is basically the game. And like I said, it is a roguelike. So when you die, you die. You then have to start a completely new game. And the only thing that you get to keep from the previous game is the traits that you have unlocked. So once you reach level 50 or floor 50, you basically unlock half of the traits. So all of these traits will be unlocked. And then once you reach level 0, when you complete the game, then you unlock all of the traits. So yeah, that's basically the game. I could select traits again and go through the next playthrough, but I'm not really going to do that. I already showed you guys basically everything that there is to know about the game. Like you guys saw, the game is pretty basic. You basically just try to keep your health and your hunger at 100% by using the things that you have collected throughout the rooms, and you try to reach floor 0. That's basically it. So as for my verdict for this game, I am a little bit on the fence about it. Basically, I am going to say, if $15 isn't a lot for you, because the game costs $15, so if $15 isn't a lot for you, then sure, go ahead, get this game. You will probably get 3 hours, maybe 4 hours of playtime out of this game before you really get bored with it. And if you haven't completed the game by that time, if you haven't done a complete playthrough from floor 100 to floor 0 in 3 or 4 hours, then you're probably doing something wrong, because I got the from floor 100 to floor 0 after about 2 hours. I was able to manage to get to floor 0. So after reaching floor 0, you are revealed the final plot of the story, which obviously I'm not going to show you guys, but it is a little bit disappointing, to be honest. I don't think it's a good end for the game, but I guess that is the way that the developers chose to go. So if you are not bothered by the $15 price tag, sure, go ahead, get this game. You will get about 4 or 5 hours of play time out of the game before you get bored. If $15 is a deciding factor for you when you buy games, as it is with me, $15 on a game like this, it's not really worth it in my opinion, simply because $15 actually means something to me. I'm not very rich, so $15 means something to me. So if $15 means something to you, much rather keep the $15 and spend it on another game. I do not think that this game is actually worth $15. So I guess my final verdict would be that you should not play this game. You should not get this game for $15. Because as you guys saw, it is very basic. In my opinion, this game would maybe be worth $7, maybe $5 even. That is just my opinion. The game doesn't have enough content to really warrant $15 price tag. So yeah, if $15 means a lot to you, don't get this game. If $15 doesn't mean a lot to you, then sure, get this game. You will get about 4 or 5 hours of playtime out of this game. So yeah guys, that is basically my verdict. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Ah, Hero, we were just talking about you.
This burden falls to you. Join me. We don't have much time.
Thank you. It's the least you can do to support this. The Alliance needs heroes like you more than ever.
I thank you.